welcome, welcome. Good night, good night. We're going to get started in just about 1 minute. Remember, share the link, share the page so that others can hop on this live as well. Let's go. Good night, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Mind Matters, where we will be discussing matters of the mind because the mind matters. I am Altamare Elvis, and I want to thank you so much for joining me on this mindset journey. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and if you are on YouTube, go ahead, click that bell so that you can get a notification every time that I go live. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about a topic that a lot of us, and I'm sure a lot of us have an issue or have been dealing with. You know, there was a research done with some hotel workers, you know, the ladies who usually go in and clean, the housekeepers of the hotels, and they were questioned as to how often they exercised, and they were asked, you know, and they said, well, they didn't exercise at all because they didn't have the time to do it. So half of them, once the interview was done, half of them were told that, okay, the exercise, the work that you do, because you're constantly moving, these are the persons, they're constantly climbing stairs, they're bending, they're lifting, they're doing all sort of physical activity. They were told that these activities that they're doing, the physical activities that they were doing, these are considered exercise. You're working out. Because what they found was that these persons, even though they were doing all of this physical activity, they were not losing any weight. They were not physically fit. All right. So half of them were told that this is the work that they're doing is physical activity, and it can be considered as exercise. And the other half was left to do and think the way that they usually think about the work that they do. A month later, the researchers went in and they checked on the housekeepers to see how things were going. And can you believe it? The ones who were told that the work that they're doing is exercise and is physical activity that they can consider or use to help them lose weight, these persons actually lost weight. However, the others who were left and to continue to think that their work was just work, some of them even actually put weight on. So here we see where our mind affects our fitness. So tonight I have with me a very knowledgeable guy. He is all about fitness, all about health. He is my coach, my motivator, my mentor, and my good friend, Coach Robert Harris. Big Rob. We call him Big Rob. Coach Big Rob, are you there?
I'm here.
Welcome to the call. Welcome to the...
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be here with me tonight. Now, just tell us a little bit about Robert Harris. Who is Robert Harris? How did you get into fitness?
Okay, so Robert Harris basically is a guy that used to be like that typical nerd, as they say. I was a little fat kid for a moment growing up. I was a real nerdy. I was part of the chess club. Used to always watch cartoons. And there comes a point in your life where you're like, you know what? I can either watch that superhuman on TV, or you can be that superhuman on TV. So that's when I got into bodybuilding. Started working out. And by the time I was like 21, had a six pack. Was doing a job I didn't like. So I started trying to do personal training. Failed miserably in the beginning. Then as soon as I moved to Indianapolis, picked up steam and became like a award-winning personal trainer. And then when I moved to the Bahamas, got into bodybuilding, was a novice champion, and in 2011 became a Mr. Bahamas, the first American to ever do it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So for now, I've been personal training now for over 20 years, loving practically every minute of it. I've had my ups and my downs, but mostly ups.
Okay. Awesome. Now, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Now I'm here.
All right. So what is it that got you interested in fitness?
I'm ashamed to say the money.
Okay.
Yeah, no, what happened was I had finished college. I tried to become a Disney animator. Disney had turned me down because originally I was an artist. Then I went back to school to night. So then I went to night school, but my parents wouldn't pay for night school. So therefore I had to wait tables during the day and use that money to pay for night school. And so I'm up in the gym one day with the owner, and we were like, man, there's this one female personal trainer who was just killing it. And we deduced that she was making like about $70,000 a year. And back then, $70,000 a year tax-free was like $150,000 a year in today's, money.
Yeah.
And so that night I went to a graphic arts school, and I said to my graphic arts teacher, how much money would I make as a graphic artist? And she said, if you've been a graphic artist for 15 years, top of the field, art director, you could make as much as maybe $35,000 a year. I said, that's not going to work for me. That was the last night I went to night school. The next day, the next day I took my tip money, sent off for my books for personal training, and never looked back.
Awesome. And this was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's about 22 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So you said that you have entered quite a few competitions, and you were Mr. Bahamas. What was the process? You said you were a nerd, and I've seen the picture on your Facebook of your of how you were in high school, with the glasses and everything. And now, and then your picture with you actually prepared for a competition. What was the process of getting from, moving from a nerd who was all about books to entering a competition? Because it's one thing to just go to the gym, but it's another thing to actually enter a competition.
Okay, so in the States, I always wanted to be a bodybuilder, but a lot of things in the States look so big and so far out to where it almost seems like an impossible dream, to be quite honest with you. But in the Bahamas, everything seems to be within touch, within your reach. If you just work a little hard here, you can get to do a lot of great things. So I was at a gym that since has been torn down called Olympic Gym. Mm-hmm. And there was a trainer there that she used to compete. And she and I we're good friends today. But at the time, we didn't get along that well. And she was like, you're fat, you're lazy, you could never be a champion. And I said, okay, I'll show you. So in 5 months, I dropped 65 pounds and got ready for my first show. Because I'd done all the reading for years anyway. So and I'd already helped clients, drop weight and whatnot. And what happened was a lot of people didn't know I already had like about 7 years worth of experience. But what happened was when I first got here, I got addicted to crack, conk, and collect beer. So you have nothing but that good crack conch and beer. And what happened was, when I was leaving the States, the last 6 months before I moved over here, I wound up working as a beer and wine salesman for one of my clients because I didn't know there were even personal trainers here. So when I got here and I was having to lick beer, I was like, this stuff's incredible. And then you combine that with the crack conch, and I was having that about every day. Because it was like paradise. Because I would train some people in the morning time. Then they buy me lunch. And this is Olympic Gym. So Olympic Gym had a restaurant on the side of it, overlooking the water. So it was crazy. And but I digress. So what happened was I started dieting down, looking at all my books. My training partner at the time was a guy named Charles Lundy, and he was way stronger than me anyway. So, and he had already competed before as well. So where I knew what to do, he kept me motivated. He would say things like, you're doing really good. You're doing even better than what I did. Keep it up. And then once you start training for a show, people around you will actually start to encourage you, at least here in the Bahamas. I don't know what it's like in the States to compete, but I competed once there, but that was just for a show, not actually training in the gym to get ready for a show. And because people want to be a part of the process. And when I got to the show and we did a weigh-in, which is what you have to do before you go on stage so you can know what category to put you in. She saw me. I saw her. She said, "You look good, boy." I said, "Well, thank you." And we became friends after that. And she competed in the same show. She did really well, as usual. I came out as a novice champion and third in my division.
Awesome.
And then 10 years later became Mr. Bahamas.
10 years.
So yeah.
Did you enter any competitions in between that, or you just
and then
went back?
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, what happens is when you do bodybuilding, you have to keep doing show after show after show, because it isn't that you're not good enough to win. You're not. You're pretty much, your body has to get used to dieting down, getting that lean. It takes a lot of years to perfect the posing or how your body can look, things like that. Hold on one second.
Okay. All right.
What happened?
Okay.
Yeah. My phone battery started going down.
Okay.
All right. So, but okay, we got it. So what happens is, sorry, audience. So what happens is your body has to get used to dieting down. So from there, so I did at least 2 to 3 shows every year for 10 years. Okay. And after that, I competed 1 year later, but then my father died. And when my father died, the zeal or the fire that had me for competing, it lessened a lot, because I didn't realize this. I went through a period of depression. And whenever you get depressed, your muscles don't grow right, because cortisol gets released into your system. And then the next part is I wound up actually becoming president of the local association, because the president and the vice president both quit at the same time that year. Yeah. So that's my way to I guess retire unofficially.
Okay. All right. So now you own your own gym. You are the owner of CrossFit Island 242. Did I say that correct? Yes. Awesome. Yes. Now we're in February now. We're in February. Usually, when do you see your influx of clients?
This year was different than any other year because we had the pandemic. So we saw an influx of clients in November and then in February. Okay. So generally, you're always going to see an influx of clients in February. That's pretty much the peak of the whole year. Okay. It is in January.
All right. And when? Go ahead.
Okay. It isn't. Excuse me. It is in January. It's actually February.
Okay.
because people say, okay, you want to work off that Christmas eating, and you set your New Year's resolutions for the people that still do that. But the problem is, a lot of people don't have money in December. I mean, in January, they
Got you.
spent it all in December.
Okay.
So yeah. So what happens is, I want to, gyms usually have a big bounce of excess customers in
Mhm.
February.
Okay. And about how soon after that do you see them start falling off?
Shamefully, within the month,
Hmm.
because a lot of things are good in the beginning, and a lot of people say, oh man, it's easy to get in shape. But what happens is, if they don't have a trainer
Hmm.
or a real goal, they're going to fall off very quickly, because it's work. It's
Right.
work, and a lot of people are not going to do work for fun. They have to do work for a goal. Like
Right.
a lot of people, they go to work for a paycheck. Now, I go to work for fun, but I gotta have to collect a little bit of money to pay the bills.
Yes.
But
That's
yeah,
what
and that's
happens
what the
when you
gym is.
do what you love for work.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to. If ever you're an entrepreneur, you have to do something that you have to do a job that you would do for free if you could.
Hmm.
And the reason why is, there's no guaranteed paycheck. So you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to work a lot of hours. You're going to have to learn a lot of new skills that you may not have currently had. And that's just for survival.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, you said that about a month that persons usually start falling off. What do you think are some of the reasons? I think you gave some, the fact that they don't have goals and it's work. But what about the mindset? What kind of mindset do you think that people need to have in order to stick with their fitness goals? Once they would have come up with a goal.
Okay.
Because
So
usually,
the mind,
go ahead.
right. Well, first off, the mind is the most important thing to have in the beginning anyway, where you have to be able to have stickability. So you have to have a tough mind and say, I'm gonna finish whatever I start. Next, you want to set a goal. And this is going to sound like cliches, but they're real. So you set a goal in terms of what you want to look like, or how much weight you want to drop. Then you have to get educated. So if you don't actually have the background to do it on your own, get a trainer or get a workout partner, or do CrossFit, where essentially you have a workout partner that either you bring to the gym or is already currently at the gym, because you'll make friends in CrossFit, and then a coach that already has a game plan for you. And then at our gym, we actually make you a diet plan that goes along with your membership. So if you follow that plan, you'll get results.
Awesome. So you with the mindset, you said that you have to have stickability, which is perseverance. What
Yes,
about discipline? How important is discipline when it comes on to your fitness?
it is very, very, very critical. And the reason why is, the discipline will help you do the routine. Your success is in your daily routine, and your discipline to do that daily routine will ultimately impact your success, or lack thereof.
Right.
If you can't every day do it, you're not going to be a success. It's like breathing. You need to do it all the time. Well, discipline, you need to do it all the time. So
Awesome.
set your goals, stick to them, and make sure nothing deters you from it.
Yes. And
Mhm.
when I remember, because I was never lifting before I came there, and a lot of times well, what you do is you push us to do a lot more than we think we can do. So a lot of times when I go to a weight and I'm like, Rob, I cannot lift this. What is it that you usually say? What is your motivation, or what is it that you say to persons when they believe they cannot do something, or what the workout is too hard, or they just can't get it? Let me see if you
Well,
remember
it all
what
depends on
you
the
normally
person you
say to
find.
me.
Yeah, it all depends, because if the person's really having a hard time, I'll be motivational. If I know the person could do more, but they give me like some excuses, I go like this. And they're gonna say, well, what's that? I say, it's the world's smallest violin. You play me a sad song. Okay. And, and the reason why is, a lot of times people can go farther than what they know. Mm-hmm. People say one of the dumbest things I hear all the time, which is, I know my body. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And the reason why is, if you knew your body, you'd be in shape.
Right.
You don't know your body. I know your body, because I've been doing it for a long time. I'm an expert. Now, mind you, you may take your body wherever you go, but you can't tell me the first thing about, not you in general, I mean just people, people in general. Yeah. They can't tell me the first thing about how to lose weight, how to gain weight, how to look the way they want to look. That's why they come to me. So you come to me to tell me you know how your body works. That's like me going to the mechanic and saying, look, I know what's wrong with my car. You got to fix this, this, and this, and here, use this tool as well. Well, if I know all that, then why am I going to the mechanic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So I motivate people in multiple ways. It all depends on what they're really going through. Now, if they're having a really hard time, I'll say, look, you've done this before. We're just adding a little more onto it. And studies show that if you focus like this, you're 25% more likely to accomplish that goal. And I can hit them with like some scientific facts. And then before you know it, they're pushing the weight. And then once they push the weight, they have that sense of accomplishment. And then once they have the sense of accomplishment, then we can keep building off of that.
Yes. And you always say to me, it's all a matter of the mind.
That's right. It's all a matter of matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter.
Yeah. So, because I have gotten to the point, as weak as I feel that I am, I've gotten to the point where I've lifted 195 pounds. And that for me is, mm-hmm. that was an accomplishment, because I remember coming in and I remember constantly saying, boy, I don't think I could do this. I can't lift this. And I always used to ask you to put me with the persons who aren't doing so much, and you are always there pushing, Tammy, your mind can do it. You just have to think, don't think about it. Just go ahead and get it done. It can be done. Yep. And, if you're constantly thinking that it cannot be done, then it won't be done. So, correct. It's the way that you think affects the way that what your body can do. Correct. So if you're constantly saying that you can't, then
you can't.
You can.
But if someone starts encouraging you and he starts saying, you know what, let me just go ahead and do it, not even for myself, but for the coach, you can.
Yes. All right. So what about, it's fitness, and you need that discipline, you need that perseverance, you need that motivation. Not just motivation from the coach, but that intrinsic motivation. You also need that willpower.
Right.
Yeah, you need that willpower. You need to be able to constantly go, to be able to go. I remember, and this is a confession round. Because those 5 o'clock classes, 5 a.m. classes, I used to be, do I need to get up today? No, I don't think I'm getting up today. I'm tired, but your body needs rest. It doesn't make sense. And these are the things I used to say to myself, just to convince myself that I don't need to go to the gym today. Right. Well, as you say, when you have that, go ahead.
Well, now I was going to say, and the one thing about us, and it is that at our gym, if you do not show up after about 2 days, you're getting a phone call. Yeah. You're getting a phone call or a text. I'm finding out where you're at. And that way it shows you that, hey, I care about what your goals are. But then also I realize that at times we can fall off, and we just need a little bit of encouragement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah. And from there, some people do fall off, but a lot of times it's that text or that phone call that makes it so that they keep on going. Right. We have members that have been with us for 5 years. So where a lot of gyms will actually lose and recycle pretty much everybody. we have held strong to at least 20 to 30% of our clientele for since we've been open over 5 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, as you said, persons keep coming back, and you are
Hmm.
making sure that your people feel that you care. Now,
Correct.
a lot of times, persons come to the gym with this expectancy, and I think you mentioned this, of a quick fix. Okay,
Right.
so it's going to take this amount of time to get my body to where I want it to be. And when they come into the gym, it is not as easy as they think it is. So in essence, we need patience. How
Well,
important is patience when it comes on to, your fitness and getting to your goals?
well, patience is important, but discipline, like you said earlier, is actually more important. And I'll tell you why. You don't need a lot of patience if you do your homework. You see what I mean? It all depends what your goal is. So first off, if you have a mindset where you're going to finish what you start, that's number one. Number two, you got to set a goal. Number three, once you start to execute, you never give up. But so the patience part, the number four, if you really don't need a lot of patience if you do your homework. Because if it's like to lose weight, if you're following your diet, doing your training, to lose weight is just burning more calories what you're taking in, or being in a caloric deficit. You can do that by doing just extra cardio. So you don't have to be patient. You just have to be active. So if you follow your program, whatever you're trying to do can happen in under 3 months. See what I mean? And that's the trick. And it's always easier to lose weight than to gain muscle. So if you're trying to pack on muscle, you can pack on between 5 to 15 pounds of muscle in 3 months. And if you're trying to lose weight, you can lose between 30 to even 75 pounds in 3 months. So it's not really long at all if you're disciplined. You don't have to be that patient. In some cases, it might help to be impatient. So you might want to do everything you have to do to achieve your goal.
Right. You mentioned diet, and there's something that you always say.
Right.
Losing weight or your fitness is 80% diet, 20% workout. Did I get that right?
Well, you did.
Okay.
You did. All right. So it is like an 80-20 rule. But really, what happens is this right here. You can actually train even more, because what the training does, right, it breaks down your muscles. So the training just breaks down your muscles. It's the food that repairs it properly. And it's the quality of calorie that you have to take in to give you a certain look and feel. So step number one, if you want to lose weight, you have to be at a caloric deficit. So you can have candy bars, ice cream. As long as you're burning more calories but you're taking in, you'll lose weight. But the quality of calorie is off. So therefore, the quality calorie of chicken is better than the quality calorie of ice cream. So that's going to be disciplined in terms of what you eat.
Right.
And from there, if you don't want to give up or starve yourself or eat too little of amount of food, then you have to burn more calories. So you might have to do more cardio or like an extra training session in the afternoon, because these actually burn calories. So essentially, everything you do burns calories. So what puts calories back in you is your diet. So if you do a lot of activities like training twice a day, cardio once to twice a day, you have an active lifestyle throughout the day, you do stretching, maybe a little bit of yoga, posing where like you flex your muscles, you're burning a ton of calories. So what puts calories back in you is your diet, the meals you eat. So if you make the meals you eat high in protein, high in lean carbs, high in fibrous vegetables, but low in fat, then you have something that's low calorie but calorically dense. So that's the easy way to give you a certain look that you're looking for.
Awesome. What
Yes.
about rest? You know, how important is rest?
Rest is extremely important, because without it, your body can't change. There's 4 stages to rest. And if you do not get at least 6 hours worth of sleep, you're missing some of the stages of your rest and recovery, because you need at least 3 hours for your body to physically reset. And then you need, your internal clock to reset. And then you need 3 hours for your muscles to repair. Okay. And that's where it gets a little sticky. So you need to get at least 6 hours worth of sleep or more.
Okay. Now,
yes.
There are persons who are constantly busy, like myself.
Right.
We're constantly going. What advice would you give, or what advice would you give to persons who find it hard to find the time to work out?
Wake up earlier. There's if you go to bed 30 minutes later and wake up 30 minutes earlier, you've just given yourself an extra hour. But you have to serve yourself before you serve anyone else. And that's the trick. People say, oh, I have a real busy day. And I say, well, what time do you wake up? Well, I wake up for 7. Well, the gym is open at 5 a.m. Oh, that's too early. I said, well, then you don't want it bad enough. and the reason why is I'm in bed every day by 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I'm up by 3:30 a.m. every day. So I can do my millionaire habits. So what I'll do is I wake up at 3:30. You have some coffee, then black. Then I'll do my cardio for about 30 to 45 minutes on a assault bike. From there, I will watch something motivational while actually doing my cardio. And then I'll turn on some type of YouTube program to learn something new about either a workout that I'm going to do later on the day for the class, or some type of business information that I can use to further make the gym more popular. Then from there, make breakfast, shower, shave, get dressed, go to work, set up the board. Then 10 minutes later, people start walking in for 5 a.m. And at 5 a.m., we start to jam. So we do a class at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. We have open gym from 7 till 9. Then from 9 to 10, we do another class. Then from 10 to 5:15, I have the rest of the day. I have that daytime to myself to run errands, handle business, catch a break, catch some food and some meals. Then at 5:15, we have another class. And at 6:30, we have a final class. And that's every day.
Awesome.
So,
awesome. So
yeah.
We have to make time.
Right.
We have to make that time.
Right. Because if you don't, then all you can do is just blame the person in the mirror. Like at the end of the day, there's no one that really controls you if you're an adult. If you're a child or a kid, then that's a little different, because your parents control what your future is. But if you pay your own bills, you live on your own, or if you're married and it's not some abusive relationship, then you pretty much can make the deal happen. Yeah. There's
Rob,
no excuse after
Rob,
that.
why you putting this? Why you throwing words at me, Rob? Are you trying to make me feel guilty?
No, man. There's no guilt here. That's why I'm on the show. I'm here to give information to everybody. Yes. Now, whoever picks up on it is on them. Yeah, it's on them.
Oh, yeah. So you have to make the time, as Rob said. You have to take care of yourself, and the Bible tells us that our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and we have to take care of that temple. And it also says that we are supposed to present our bodies as living sacrifices. And as we know, or should know, is that look at Rob promoting his stuff.
Oh, is this my Malgins protein powder?
We are supposed to present our bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. And as we know, when sacrifices were given in the Bible, these sacrifices were given of the unblemished animals. So we have to, if we're presenting our bodies as holy and living sacrifice, that means we're supposed to take care of the body. We're supposed to eat healthy, we're supposed to exercise, we're supposed to make sure that we're fit. So this is not something that is, just something that people just came up with. This is biblical. Taking care of yourself is biblical. So Rob, before we head out, before we end, what fitness is affected by our mindset, but it is also true that your fitness or workouts or exercise also affects your mind. What are some of the advantages of working, or what are some of the advantages of exercising?
Right. Well, I mean, first off, right, you have what's called endorphins. These are happy hormones. So as soon as you start weight training, within 15 minutes or longer weight training, you start to release happy hormones, which is called endorphins. That's number one. So you feel better. Number two, you look better. And if you start training to where you have like that burn, it's called a lactic acid burn, then your body starts to secrete a lot of toxins, because that burning, right, the lactic acid burn, it starts to cleanse all the acidities and toxins out of your body. You'll sweat a lot, so it's actually good for your skin, because as you sweat, basically that's units of a calorie. You start burning calories. A calorie is a unit of heat. When you get too many collections of units of heat, your body starts to sweat. So sweating is actually your body's natural cooling mechanism. But as you sweat, it's good for your skin as well. Opens up your pores. Also, it's good for your heart as well. You'll feel like you've accomplished something already for your day. And then if you do cardio, you speed up your metabolism for 18-hour period. But if you do weight training, not only do you speed up your metabolism for 18-hour period, but for every pound of muscle you gain, you burn 15% more calories on a whole. And that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that has a lot of benefits as well.
Yeah.
Because if you want to drop body fat, that's what you want to do. You want to weight train. So those are some of the benefits. Also, did I say it builds your confidence?
No, you didn't.
Okay, well, it builds your confidence as well.
It also relieves stress, because for me,
stress relief too. Yes.
When I'm feeling overworked, when I'm feeling stressed out, all I have to do is work out. And once I get back into my regular routine of working out, then I feel a whole lot better, because what it does, it kind of clears your mind. It causes you to think better. It takes you away from the whole hustle and bustle of the day. So you're thinking clearer. Exercise, as you know, fitness is something that I am just
very passionate about.
Still into.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is something that makes me happy.
Right.
So, as you said, it gives you that confidence. It causes you to look the way you want to look. So, so we have to have a why. We have to have a reason why we want to be fit. Whether it is to make sure that we're presenting our bodies as a living sacrifice, or whether it is that we want to look a certain way. But whatever it is, you have to have that goal. You have to have that why. Why is it that I'm doing this? Because if you don't, then what you're going to find happening is that you're going to just fall off and you're going to stop.
Right. That is so true. But that's like anything. If you don't have purpose, right, what's the point? It's Rick Warren, who's a preacher. I know you're a very spiritual person, so he wrote a book called A Purpose-Filled Life, right?
Yeah, I've read it.
And he speaks of this. Joel Osteen is very fit. Bishop Nora Jones. This man right here, he's probably the fittest man in Christianity. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So Bishop. So I used to train this guy. His name was Pastor John Ramses. He grew his church from 200 members to 2,000 members within 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I was his personal trainer. And he said that his goal was to be like Bishop Nora Jones. And I said, really, who's that? He said, well, you know, Grace Jones, the actress. I was like, yeah, that's her brother. I said, okay. And so he said, Rob, any speaking engagement that this guy goes to, in his contract, besides money, he gets a limousine driver, he gets a gym membership, and he gets a personal trainer. And this guy carries a six-pack year round. All you know, and he's in his late 60s, but yet he's still the fittest man in Christianity. And then you have then you have Creflo Dollar. His church actually has a gym and a school attached to it. Yeah. And TD Jakes, he has a huge fitness center at Potter's House. So these are guys that are in the word but are staying fit with it as well.
Yes. Because it is, as I said, fitness is biblical. Fitness is something that, you know,
right.
In the Bible, it talks about Daniel and Daniel eating certain things. When he was asked to eat the king's food, he said, no, give me the grains, give me the vegetables, and give me water. You know, and these are some of the things that you as a coach would tell us that we need to eat, because these
right.
are the things that keep you healthy, and these are the things that help to build your body.
Right. And that's called the Daniel fast, right?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, no, I've been training like different people at the church for years since I've been in the Bahamas. And I have to say, this is probably the most spiritual place I've ever been. So I mean, I went to school in Nashville, Tennessee, where they claim was the Bible Belt, but I see the Bahamas as a real Bible Belt. and so people here, they have the discipline. Mm-hmm. I've lived all over the world, and I've traveled to even more places than I've lived. When I tell people the Bahamas has the most disciplined people I've ever met, they always laugh at me, or actually local people laugh at me. You know, people from other countries say, "Wow, really?" But locals laugh at me, and they say, "Rob, why do you say that?" I said, because if you find a Bahamian person that goes to church, they're always going to do the Daniel fast. They'll if they have a big problem, they're going to fast so they can find the answer. And then historically, fasting makes you sharper. You know, makes you think more. Mm-hmm. And people don't actually realize that. Even down to Socrates in Greek philosophy, what he would do is, when he would talk to students, if they weren't getting questions right, he say, come back tomorrow, don't eat anything. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because when they fasted, it made their brain work faster. Yeah. But so basically, with the Bible speaks to all this. Yeah. So you have your Daniel fast. You also have the hard work and ethic from the Bible that mm-hmm. applies also in the gym as well.
Yes, most definitely. All right, Thank you so much, Rob. I'm just gonna give you just a minute just to promote your products. Rob has his own line of products. His gym, as I said, CrossFit Island 242. Right. Awesome place to be. I am a member of that gym.
Yes, she is.
He also has that's the Mojo, that's the protein shake. He also has the
Myogenesis.
Yes.
So
Rob, take it away.
All right, cool.
Try to remember the things. I can't get the names right.
All right, so one thing with me, I'm all about fitness. And, you know, so we have CrossFit Island 242. People ask, what is CrossFit? CrossFit is a combination of 3 different disciplines, which is metabolic conditioning or cardio, weight training, where we do Olympic lifts or compound movements, and then also where we do gymnastics, where we do bodyweight training like push-ups, air squats, pull-ups. Then to go along with the training, we have a supplement line called Myogenesis. Myo means muscle, genesis means beginning, muscle beginning. which sells a Save More Drugs exclusively in Freeport. You can also buy it online as well. But those are the things that I try to promote because we have protein powders, fat burners, energy shots, multivitamins. And then on the gym side, we have CrossFit, which appeals to everyone except for maybe a pro bodybuilder. But any other fitness goal you have, you can be done in CrossFit.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
And I think you forgot about the vegetable fruit.
Yeah, fruits and vegetables mix. Yeah, that's right.
I think that's my favorite one.
Yeah, and I was actually drinking some of that in the protein because you mix the fruits and vegetables with the protein as a great synergy.
Yes.
Excuse me, tastes delicious. And one scoop of fruits and vegetables gives you 20 servings of fruits and vegetables for the day.
Yes.
One scoop.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rob.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. I will see you when I see you.
Hopefully in the morning time at 5 a.m.
Hopefully in the morning time at 5 a.m.
All right. Hold on.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah. Tammy, let me see the guns. Let me see your guns.
Still there.
Oh, there you go.
I still, even though I'm not there, every morning at 5 a.m., I still do my workouts each day. It may not be as long as I would want it to, because as I said, my days are usually hectic. So what I do, I try to get like a 10 or 20 minutes in each day cardio, or still going by the routine, legs on Monday, arms on Tuesday, Wednesday is booty day. I still do that. Yeah, so I'm still getting it in. And for persons who are busy, extremely busy, take 10 minutes, do something. What I do too, when I'm warming my lunch in the day, whatever time I put on that microwave, I do a workout within that time.
There you go.
So I'm either doing wall push-ups or I'm doing squats. The cleaning lady walked in there one day and she's like, Miss Evans, what you doing? Because because I'm busy, I find ways to keep myself moving, to keep myself active, because I work too hard at CrossFit to put back on my weight.
Right. And here's something, right? There's like a quick tip, even though I'm probably like shooting myself in the foot here. If everyone just does 50 burpees in the morning time on an empty stomach with just some coffee or some green tea, that would get them a body that would stop traffic in 30 days. Wow. So just 50 burpees on coffee, on black coffee or green tea, and then you can actually eat like a reasonable breakfast afterwards. But you always want to try and do a little bit of fasted cardio, not fasted weight training, but fasted cardio. And the difference is you have what's called glycogen. That's carbohydrates in your muscles. That's at its lowest point twice after you weight train and as soon as you wake up in the morning time. But it makes so that you don't have to burn off all the carbs to get to burning the fat. So you have different levels. You have to burn through carbohydrates, then fat, then muscle. Okay. So instead of having this much carbs to burn, if you do it as soon as you wake up, you're only burning this much carbs to get to the fat burning zone.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So literally, right.
That's the reason why it's more important. It's better to work out in the morning than in the evening.
Well, it's best to work out. You can work out at any time, but for your cardio, it's best as soon as you wake up or after you weight train, because that's your glycogen or carbohydrates in your muscles are at the lowest point. Okay. So you're just burning fat from there on out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it for as long either. You only have to do it for 20 minutes max if you do it fasted or right after you weight train.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that tip, Rob. Everyone, thank you for viewing. See you during our next episode as we continue on this mindset journey to success. Join us next week as we will continue on this mindset journey together. Enjoy your week, everyone. May God continue to bless each and every one of you and your families.
Hey. Thank you.
Remember, change your mindset, change your life. your mind.